Hi everyone. Welcome. Today, we're tackling a common and frustrating error you might encounter when working with Google OAuth in Python. It's the attribute error. InstalledAppFlow object has no attribute run console. This error can stop your Google API integration dead in its tracks. But don't worry, it's usually an easy fix. Let's dive into what this error means and how to resolve it quickly. You typically see this attribute error when you are trying to authenticate your Python application with a Google API. You're likely using the Google OAuth library, specifically the InstalledAppFlow class. This class helps manage the OAuth 2.0 authorization flow for desktop or local applications. The core of the problem lies in the run console method. This method was part of older versions of the Google OAuth library. Its purpose was to guide users through the authentication process by printing a URL to the console, asking them to open it in a browser, and then paste the authorization code back into the console. However, this method has been deprecated and completely removed in newer versions of the library. So, when your code tries to call flow.runConsole, Python rightly tells you that the InstalledAppFlow object no longer has that attribute. It simply doesn't exist anymore. The good news is there's a modern and much more user-friendly replacement. The recommended method for local applications is flow.run_local_server. This method automatically opens a browser window for the user to authenticate. It then handles the redirect back to a local server running on your machine, captures the authorization code, and exchanges it for credentials. This whole process is seamless for the user. So, how do we fix this attribute error? There are two main steps, and they are both straightforward. First, you need to ensure your Google API client libraries are up to date. Outdated libraries are the most common cause of such issues. Open your terminal or command prompt and run pip install upgrade Google OAuth Google API Python client. This command will update both the OAuth library and the main Google API Python client library to their latest versions. This ensures you have all the current methods and bug fixes. Second, after updating your libraries, you need to modify your Python code. Locate the line where you were calling flow.runConsole. You will replace that line with flow.run_local_server, port equals 0. The port equals 0 argument tells the run_local_server method to find an available port automatically. This is generally the safest approach. Once you make this change, your code should look something like creds equals flow.run_local_server, port equals 0. This single change will resolve the attribute error. Your application will now correctly open a browser for authentication, making the user experience much smoother. Remember, always refer to the official Google API documentation for the most current and recommended practices. They often have excellent examples. So, to recap, if you see the attribute error, InstalledAppFlow object has no attribute run console. First, update your Google OAuth and Google API Python client libraries. Second, change flow.runConsole to flow.run_local_server, port equals 0. This should get your Google OAuth Flow working perfectly again. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you solve that pesky attribute error. If it did, please consider giving this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more helpful coding tips and tutorials. Your support really helps us create more content like this. See you in the next video.